Yo, what is up, you guys? So in today's video we're gonna look at some more free plugins, so let's just get into that. So every week I try to find as many Mac and PC free plugins as I can for you guys, and I always try to have around 3. So I found 2 that are Mac and PC, which is a Synth and a feedback compressor, which is really nice. But the only PC only one that's not for Mac is this one right here, the EPICVERB. So why I really like this is because it's free, it's high quality, it's really easy to mix in. Like when you really need a subtle reverb, this is like a go-to. Other than that, you can be really like, you can have this be super loud and it sounds great. It is for the most part, it doesn't sound like other reverbs where it gets very artifacty in the tail. This is very nice and smooth. So I'll show you how I used it somewhere over here. So I think I have a case of it over here. So I'll just aim B it on and off. And before I do that, I'll just mention that I have it on the ambience settings so that it's not like a loud reverb, and I'll show you kind of the difference between those. And I have this mostly put out to the side, so I'm not sure how that will translate on YouTube, because YouTube usually compresses the audio of the videos a little bit more and when I render the videos out. So I'm not sure how much you'll be able to hear that's on the sides, but you can see I have it far out on the sides, which is another good thing about this plugin. You get to kind of play, you have a mid-side with this, you have the dry wet that is really nice, some EQ stuff here, the dampening in the mod, and you can set the sides kind of differently apart with the milliseconds, which is really great. It makes it much wider. And then you have beautiful settings like the plate, and the Echo FX is actually my favorite from this, and then everything else just sounds great on this. So I will play this for you. So I'm just using it here, kind of like a generic saw thing right here. So when you use it like that in ambience, it can kind of give that brighter, wider impression. So the top end, those very high frequencies, are actually sounding a lot nicer and brighter without being crunchy or like too crispy in that bad nasally way. So that's how I use it in one case, but this is also great on groups. I would play you the group, but I cannot solo it. So, and it's mixed pretty low. You know, I'm following pretty much like a Haas effect rule. Like, this is 10, my bus is 10 dB lower than like everything else in my mix, so that way it's a more natural reverb and it's not really like taking up all the room in the mix. So here you can see I'm just using like a reverb setting, still using that FX echo around 3000 milliseconds, you know, not too much. And then you can see, I just love that you can set, you know, the first ER at like whatever you want, and then set a second one differently, and then you have all this really cool stuff. So I'll show you now back on this one. You know, I'll kind of show you the difference now between the reverb, and I'll put the dry wet pretty high up so you can start to really hear this. So I'll just play around with the settings and you can see what that sounds like. So that should give you a good idea of how awesome this plugin is. Really easy to use. I do like the kind of rack-mounted unit look of it. I always tend to prefer plugins that look like a piece of hardware, and that is just one of those cool plugins. So I'll move on from that. I will link all the plugins I mentioned down below. So this is EPICVERB. I'm sure you could Google it, but I will give you links anyways. So this is a really good must-have. I mean, now that I'm using it now, I don't use any of my other reverbs, this is really just a good one. So highly recommend that. So let's move on to now a synth. So this one is kind of based off of like a Juno 60 sort of thing. So it's very much like going for like an analog kind of build up, and it sounds really nice, and it comes full of presets. So to make this video not too long, you know, obviously you can, I'm sure everyone that's watching this knows how to use synths and all that, so you can kind of see where the oscillators are, the mixer right here in the middle, then you have everything else kind of just basically set up, and then you have a lot of cool presets with this. So I will show you some presets, and that's how we'll get on with this. So I'm not actually going to take the time to like make something and blah 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 blah. Let's I'll just show you what it sounds like, because that's probably what matters most to everybody. So let me just copy down some MIDI. That MIDI actually kind of sucks, so I'll just play you something instead. So it's just a really nice sounding. I kind of suck at playing keyboards, so don't get too mad about that. So let's just hear some of the other ones. So I love these kind of synths because they're really great for like plucks and like pads and that kind of stuff. Really just like, it's really nice. So let's hear a few more. And I also should mention that I like the preset window a lot, because you just click on presets and then it just kind of pops up, and it's a really nice browser for this. And you'll see on some of these, you'll see like little notes. I'm trying to find one that has notes. So sometimes whoever made the preset, or if you make one yourself, you can kind of give yourself some notes, like what it is, how you characterize it, how to use it. So let's just hear a few more. And again, it's free, so this is really just an awesome one. This is probably from the same company that made the Zebra and all that. And this is not a new plugin. It's been around for a while, for a few years. But now it recently got re-released in 2013. Well, it's not recent, but I think they made it a VST3 version of this or something like that. Who knows why it's out, but it's out and it's awesome. So let's go to another library here. And it comes full of presets. I think on the website, I only downloaded an extra bank, but most of these come with it, and they sound pretty awesome. So let me try to find some different presets. Let's go to some pads. Again, I keep playing the same thing just because it's like the only thing I know how to play in A minor, like off the top of my head. Alright, so I could keep showing you presets for days, but I think you get the idea. It sounds pretty nice. Let's find a good bass one maybe before we get off of this one. Alright, so let me find this preset that I found earlier. It's called Tap Tap. just because I want to use it for the next plugin example, which is a feedback reverb compressor, not reverb. It's by Tokyo Dawn Studios. I don't know. I'll show it to you in a sec. Just gotta find that preset real quick. It is called Tap Tap. I think it was right over here. It's funny how when you need to find something, you don't remember where it is. Ah, here it is. Okay. So the reason why I wanted to use that one is because that goes kind of perfectly with the reverb that I wanted to show you. I mean, goddamn, keep saying reverb. Compressor. So this is made by Tokyo Dawn Labs. It's a really, really good compressor. It has a lot of character to it, and it can yet be very transparent at times, and it's really easy to use, and I think it's kind of like the reverb that I showed you at the beginning of the video. It's just like a high quality plugin, and it's free, so if you don't take advantage of what's out there for free and that's high quality and you're still using stock plugins, that is a mistake. So I think you need to seek out the good plugins that are available. So some of the few things that I could say about this, that really this is probably better to use on a bus, but it is just a really good character compressor, and you have a sidechain high pass filter, so you get some slopes here. You can set the frequency and blah blah blah. You have your basic stuff like threshold and peak and your knee. Of course, you have the ratio, so you can set this from anywhere from 1 to 1 to 7. And if you need to go into the limiting ratios of like 10 and higher, you just set it to limiter here. And then you have your attack and release peak and release RMS. And of course, you have precise and echo. You can see what you're doing right here a little bit. And then you have a delta, so that way you can kind of bypass the compressed signal and just listen to the uncompressed signal, so something like this. And then you just have a bypass for everything else right here, just an overall bypass. And of course you got your makeup and your dry mix, and then output gain. So this is actually kind of a little bit where the feedback part of this kind of plays a little bit. So right over here, this is just full 100%, just the compressor right here, and then you can start, blending the dry signal with the compressed signal, but it does it in such a nice way that it's so it has so much character from doing that. So here's what we could do. I'll just play you something, and then we'll bypass it. So see how it makes it so much tighter. When it's uncompressed, it seems like nice and loud, but then once you add the compression on, it adds this nice subtle character that brings in this tightness, but yet kind of has this warmth to it. So that's something I like about this a lot. So again, I'll throw this down in the link, and I just recommend highly that you get this really, really good compressor. So that'll be it for this video, you guys. And of course, I'll do probably a tutorial on some sort of house based kind of synth. And I will also probably do a tutorial on for Insomniac producers, a nice program that I found in my computer that helps you go to sleep, or it kind of dims your colors of your screen to make you want to go to sleep. So I'll talk about that. So all those videos will come later in the week, and probably a sound design Wednesdays on something I don't even know yet. So of course, guys, thanks for watching, and lates.